Okay, hi everybody. Here is my gold farming guide for what's today's date? Thursday, October 2nd, 2014. A better gold farming guide might be found out later, but as I can think of right now, this is the best and the easiest that I've come up with. And if you should be able to get like 1,000 gold a minute in each run, get about 15,000 gold-ish. I've gotten anywhere between 10,000 to 16,000 depending on how many times I die. So what you're going to want to get is a level 3 sirens lute, and that's it. And the rest of this stuff does not matter at all. If you guys don't already know, loadout doesn't actually do anything for you. So as long as you have a level 3 sirens lute, you can do this. And you're going to go to Act 1, Room 2. On unfair. It has to be on unfair because that's how you get the most gold.
The Legion awaits you.
Intriguing.
When you start off, you can do this with any character, but you'll notice that I am using my Storm Punch to break boxes. It's one of the easiest ways to break boxes. That attack kind of sucks actually, and it doesn't have very many uses other than breaking boxes. In this room, you need to save 2 barrels. You can blow up the rest of them, it doesn't really matter, as long as you have 2. Now, a lot of times I can make it through this without getting hit, but sometimes I get hit, and usually when you get hit as a wizard, you die. So if I die in this run, it's not optimal, but if you can make it through this without dying, you will net like 15,000 gold. So I break this open, get that potion, that's really important. All the potions are really important, it depends what rooms you use them on. You'll notice I'm breaking boxes that don't have gold in them, and that's because sometimes they do have I think at the max mastery they have like a 7% chance of dropping gold. And that they'll drop like 60 or 70 gold-ish. So there's a crack in the wall over here. While that's going off, I break a couple more boxes, try and get some gold. Got some there. Over here, this potion helps out a lot, and there's a turkey there for 140 gold. And this route, you want to do it quickly, but it's all about maximizing your gold, and we're picking up every single piece in this run. And there are levels where you can get more gold than this, but this level is really easy because it's one of the first levels in the game. And usually you need some damage masteries to make these easier. And since this is one of the first levels, you can start doing this gold farm really early on, because one of the first levels, it's where you get one of your first masteries to do increased damage against mummies and skeletons. If you haven't noticed the attacks I've been using, I use the fireball for ranged, and I use the lightning attack, the chain lightning attack, not the storm punch, to do crowd control, I guess. So you come down here, you don't actually want to enter this room yet, because there's a couple of guys that are just like dormant in this room. And we will just stand right here until they stop coming and all of them are dead. I believe that's all of them. Grab these, and when you remember where the spawners are at, your life becomes a whole lot easier. You don't need your Siren's Loot here because there's only one spawner. You need the Siren's Loot when there's 2. Usually I try to hit the mummy with that AoE attack just because it kills him faster. And the ice beam is the fastest way of DPSing this. When it runs out though, you gotta switch to the fireball. Fireball is the second fastest way of DPSing the spawners. When you notice a whole bunch of guys show up, that's when you gotta switch to chain lightning. So those guys are done. Got those crates. There's nothing in those. Run up here, and this is another room where you gotta kill some guys before you fully enter it, otherwise you'll trigger the spawner and there'll be extra guys. You don't want extra guys. Try to sometimes get that camera to move, because those guys won't move until the camera does. Alright, so there'll be a spawner right in the middle. You typically want to look for where the, if there's a soldier with a shield right there, that's where you want to look for him. You want to try to hit him with your AoE attack, your big fire bomb. Alright, now most of those guys are handled. The shield guys are really the biggest problem, especially for Wizard. I took some damage. I'm not playing too well, but you guys get the picture. Get some easy damage that way. Taking damage doesn't matter too much when you have the loot, as long as you don't get die. I can take up to 3 hits before I activate a loot. I can take up to 3 hits before I activate a loot. These guys die the best with fireballs, but the problem is that they block fireballs with their shield, so you have to use a lightning attack on those guys as Wizard to open them up so you can get the hits in. So yeah, I have taken damage, but it's not going to matter because in these next couple rooms, there's only going to be 1 spawner. Usually I don't take damage when there's 1 spawner, but I'm playing kind of bad. But in these next couple rooms, there's going to be a double spawner in one of them, and that's when I have to activate my first loot, and it should heal me almost all the way. You want to make sure you stop here for your snow field for that cooldown to reset, because if you run across and you don't have your snow field, there's going to be a spawner that activates and you won't be able to slow it down. And stay inside this box until all of these guys are dead. This little tiny box here. And make sure you don't accidentally shoot those potions. But once all those guys are dead, this field's going to pop up. Run and grab the potion real quick so you don't accidentally blow it up later. Because with chain lightning and things like that, you will blow up potions. It just happens. You can't control it. Alright, so that guy's almost dead. We can start trying to DPS this spawner here. Problem is, doing these runs with Elf or other characters can actually be easier. Doing this solo with Wizard is kind of difficult because he doesn't have too many options for doing tons of damage quickly. So you have to slowly kill all of these guys and take your time with it. If you try to go in too fast, you'll take too much damage and get yourself killed, and you'll lose money. You can die doing these runs, and the runs will be okay. You just won't get as much money. You'll lose a couple thousand. I have died and gotten 15,000 before though, so that run I probably could have gotten like 17 though if I didn't die. And fireballs destroy those guys the best, but you gotta open them up with some sort of lightning attack, either a storm punch or a chain lightning bolt. Chain lightning, you have greater distance. So again, we don't want to enter this room yet until these guys are all taken care of. This is where we're going to use our first loot. You enter this room, you'll notice there's 1 spawner, but another one's going to pop up. So we activate it, give ourselves a few seconds of time here, and then we pop the loot. Nobody's going to attack us when we got the loot up. We start healing, the spawner goes down, and now you got to start immediately dealing with these guys because they're starting to build up because there was 2 spawners. I have died here before. It's a common location die. This is probably one of the hardest rooms in this entire run. But again, it's the first act, so it's not going to be too difficult. As long as you don't make too many mistakes. And this run seeks to minimize your mistakes so you can maximize your gold. And it just make it easier. Like there's other levels you can play. Well, you'll get more gold, but you need a team. You can't do it by yourself. This is kind of hard to do. Like this is just a really easy way to get a bunch of gold. And this is one of the levels that has a ton of gold. On Unfair, you only get a lot of gold on Unfair if you don't die. Or if you only die like 1 or 2 times. You can still get a lot of money if you only die a couple times. So we're going to deal with the Lich up here. We've got more than enough health at this point. If I don't have very much health at this point, let's say I took a bunch of damage in that last room, I would actually pop a loot in here, but I don't need to. So, break a couple boxes, try to get some extra money. And when he first appears, he drops some guys, so you want to use your AoE attack. Sometimes it kills a lot of guys, sometimes it kills all of them, sometimes it doesn't kill any of them. Once all those guys are dealt with, then you switch to Fireball and just try to DPS this guy. And you always want to be moving, because he does that attack and that will freeze you. Sometimes you won't realize where it's coming from. When you see him do the glowing fist, he's spawning more skeletons. So you'll need to chain lightning those guys. Switch back to fireball. I am on controller right now, so I can't shoot fireballs all that accurately, but I like using controller just because it's relaxing. These runs are much easier on mouse and keyboard because you don't have to deal with auto aim. Auto aim can actually mess you up quite a lot. If you want to play really seriously and like try to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, it's much easier if you're doing it with the mouse and keyboard. Alright, so he's taken care of. You get a good amount of gold from him. Break some more boxes so you can get some extra cash. Alright, so this next room you need one barrel. You can only break 2 of those. But since they're so close, you generally don't hit any of them. Because you'll end up breaking all 3 of them. Or getting yourself hurt trying to save them. Take this barrel over here, you'll get another potion. Spending potions on this floor doesn't really matter because as soon as you beat this floor, we actually restart and go back to the hub and play this level over again because you bank your money when you clear a floor, not when you clear an entire room, which rooms consist of 3 floors. So you won't, like if you've never beaten this level before, you won't be able to play the next one, but this is just farming gold on unfair. You probably should have beaten this level and the preceding ones. So we enter this room. And this is where we're going to use our second lute. We're going to pop it there and start trying to damage this down. And then this room's easier than the last one because we can run down here and use chain lightning to kill everything. And this is a very safe corner to be in because you can just run around to dodge the arrows. I usually don't get hit here, but it's kind of hard to play and talk at the same time. And you can stay on here for quite a while before it's safe to run up. Sometimes there's a whole bunch of guys to deal with, and if there's a lot of those shield guys, which sometimes are going to be 3, 4, if you get them all bunched up, they can take a long time before you can move out and damage the spawner. I'm just using fireballs here because I want to stay mobile. I want to be able to dodge this arrow if it comes at me. Otherwise, I would be using the ice beam. It does kill spawners slightly quicker. Chain lightning here is okay. If you don't have to get too fancy, chain lightning will sometimes arc to the spawner, and it does just as much damage as a fireball does. It's just fireballs you have more control of, and you can usually hit spawners more consistently. So, I think I got the gold over here. Yeah, I got that. Alright, so we get this pile of gold down here, and then we'll be heading to one of the last 3 double spawners. There's 3 double spawners left, I think. And we have 5 potions, so we're going to have extra potions. There's a 6th potion we can get down here as well. So you can use 2 lutes for a double spawner if you absolutely need it. You want to be careful that you don't cross this line just yet, because there are some zombies you can kill for free in here before the spawners pop up. Once those guys are dealt with, I think that's all of them. You're going to run to the back left corner, drop a snow field, AoE attack, get in there with ice beam, pop a loot. You'll gain health, kill this spawner, and then you want to run south because there's less guys down here and start trying to zap everything you can. And then move up north with the teleport. And we're looking really good right now. Haven't died this run, so we're going to get a pretty good amount of money if we don't jinx it here. Once that's dealt with there, deal with this one. And you can just fireball these sometimes. It takes a little while, but it'll eventually go down.